When you're getting a mortgage in Canada, one of the decisions you're going to need to make is the amortization. Now, the amortization is if your interest rate stays the same and you make your payments consistently, how many years until your mortgage is fully paid off? The most common options that people will consider are 25 and 30-year amortizations. The first thing you need to know is that if you put less than 20% down, the maximum amortization is 25 years and you don't get a lot of choice. But in the scenario where you have at least 20% equity, you can choose to take a 30-year amortization as well. Now, the benefit to a 30-year amortization is it means your monthly payments will be lower. The drawback is the payments are lower because you're paying off less debt each month. Now, that ultimately means you're going to need to make your payments for an extra 5 years, which that's a long time. So you have to ask yourself, is paying $300-400 a month less worth paying those payments for an extra 5 years? But it is important to note that day one, if you have two mortgages, let's say for $100,000, and you have the choice of a 25-year amortization or a 30-year amortization, assuming the interest rates are the same, you will pay the same interest for the first 30 days. Then what's going to happen on the 25-year amortization, you make a slightly bigger payment. So you owe a little bit less for the next 30 days. Then you make your payments, you pay off a little bit more debt, and as you move forward, you start to pay down the debt faster on the 25-year amortization. So this means that from a short-term perspective, the interest costs are the same, but stretched out over 25 or 30 years, it can be the difference of tens of thousands of dollars. So my best advice to you is, if given the choice, you take the lowest possible payment and then use your prepayment privileges to make extra payments as you're allowed or as you can. Now, you can call your lender after closing and ask them to then increase your payments in a voluntary way. So you can take the 30-year mortgage, day two of your mortgage, increase your payments so you will pay it off in 25 years, or even less if you like. But the benefit to doing it this way is that you can always choose to default back to those lower payments if you go traveling, work slows down, you have a difficult time financially. So it gives you more flexibility. Now, an important thing to know is that in the real world, typically speaking, 30-year mortgages cost about 0.1% more than 25-year mortgages. So what this means is it will cost you roughly an extra $100 per year per $100,000 that you owe. So taking a 30-year amortization on a $500,000 mortgage will, roughly speaking, cost you an extra $500 a year. So this is an important thing to consider, and if the flexibility is not needed at all for you, then you're probably better off to take the 25-year amortization and get a lower rate. But if you're worried about your payments, maybe your income varies or you work overtime or there's something that makes it so you prefer to have the ability to have a lower payment when you need it, I highly recommend that you consider the longer options just to give you that extra flexibility. Because it is a lot easier to convince a lender to take more money from you so you can pay off your mortgage faster. It is next to impossible to convince them to take less money from you. If you need any help with these decisions or you want to run through the numbers and the math, just let me know, and happy to help you through it.